All right, guys. The time has come. Who's ready to discuss all of the Endgame spoilers for everybody who hasn't seen it? Right, here we are. No,
I haven't seen it yet.
and I will ruin it for you. Oh God,
No!
that hurts so bad.
Yeah, you might want to refrain from doing that, Tommy.
You guys don't get to fight monsters today.
And he will ruin your life.
Tiki's got
This
it.
is why I stopped playing Siege.
All right, nerds, we're recording. Hush it. Hush it. Hush your mouths. It's time.
You started this.
I know. It's time for the next episode of Final Fantasy Heralds at Dawn, our weekly patron game. Oh man, I don't know what I did to my voice. I don't know if it's because I caught the con crud being in a packed out theater at Endgame last night, or if I don't know. I got one of them spring colds, I guess, but I'm gonna sound real horrible. So all of the not in this register that I have to roleplay today will be 10 out of 10 the funniest thing you've ever heard in your life. Regardless, Jason, Ross, Nick, Josh, Spell, Idaho, Tiki. I did it in one. Yes. Thank you guys so much for your support on Patreon, making all of my dreams come true, and been paying for some cough drops when I get out of here. Probably. In any case, so you guys can put a voice to a token, we will take it from top to bottom with our players introducing your race, your class, who you are, and that in-character reflection for the hero point before we explore more of the frozen wasteland that is this continent you guys have found yourselves on. And Jason, you are first, my friend.
Okay, I'm playing an Albed engineer thief hybrid. Engineer is archetyped into Mako weapon specialist, and thief is archetyped into rogue. And basically, I am a shoot you from afar, stab you up close, and have some fun other skills at the same time. Yeah, we're just wandering in the woods at the moment. So pretty soon we're going to have to go back to the town because I don't think we want to stay out at night tonight.
Also, someone in the party has a hot date.
I was going to let him discuss that. Fair.
All right, good enough. Take your hero point, my man. And I guess it is worth noting now because one of my players is a bi-weekly player who won a giveaway. One of my players is a bi-weekly player who upped his patronage. You guys can't have an army in this one. There are 7 players in the party. You have an army now. You don't need to go a recruiting. Anyway, next up, it's a week late, but it's okay. I'll still accept one from our motorcycle boy. Oh, Rastazard, what you playing in character reflection from a session ago? Rack that brain. Get that hero point.
Alrighty then. Hello, my name is... I'm playing Aloran, a Hume Dark Knight / Red Mage. Essentially kind of a generalist for combat. I've had military training and I've kind of been deployed more so as a shock trooper. I specialize in close combat, but I'm more so... I can do kind of anything really. Close combat's my specialty, but that's not to say I'm really weak at range or anything of that nature, which I also found funny because I was watching the intro you did for my character, and I kind of paused when I listened to it, and you said that the other Dark Knight that I encountered was seemingly better at swordplay than me, because I just paused and was like, he does realize I took the Dark Knight archetype that literally is all about swordplay, right? But
he has more levels than you. Or something.
Okay, fine, fair. If that's how you want to play it, then why did he die and I live?
Because you're a PC. You got lucky.
Yeah, I was the smart person who decided to get out of the building quickly instead of fighting in it. Mortars. But yeah, I'm probably just kind of getting over how cold it is. I've been up north, but most of my campaigns have been further south, so I might have grown up in a more northern climate, but when I say northern, I think probably the farthest north would be New England sort of climate. So this probably is pretty cold for my character. And I don't fully know why I was gone for the past few hours. Apparently I've been doing wheelies on my motorcycle, which doesn't make any sense. I'll see where that is. I'm kind of... But either way. I'm just kind of.
I think the imagery is funny because I don't have tech.
The
in my
imagery is
games.
funny, yeah.
I got a
Yeah, no,
motorcycle.
it's
Screw you
hilarious.
guys. I'm gonna do wheelies for 3 hours. Haha.
Look, when I can split it in two and when I can split it in two and dual wield it, Devil May Cry, Dante from DMC. But hey, and he has silver hair too, so there you go. That's where I'm left at.
You are kind of CG Dante, I suppose. Fair enough. Take that hero point as we go to. I see the name Brienne on my OBS overlay, and that makes me think of Brienne of Tarth. And that's I don't really watch Game of Thrones. I know, shocker. But that reminds me of the player who will ping me when it gets a little too close to 8 because Game of Thrones is on it. We need to wrap up. Next up, ow god, why did I do that? Owie. Next up is Nick Cirillo. Who are you? What are you playing in character reflection, my friend?
Hey, it's me, the guy who doesn't know how to operate his microphone. So the character I'm playing is as Brienne Rothschild, not Brienne of Tarth. Instead of being a knight, I am playing as a dancer, gestalted with an illusionist. I'm sort of playing as sort of like a sort of trickster type character. My combat style basically involves confusing and frustrating the enemy before going in and smacking them upside the head. Though in our party, I'm not likely the one to be doing the smacking. That might be Tiki or a Lawrence. So, yeah. So my character's gone from fighting criminals on the streets to running through the streets because of a civil war that she may or may not have been the catalyst for, and now hanging out with a bunch of strangers in the woods in a continent that she's never been to before. So it's been kind of a crazy ride so far.
Good enough. I take that hero point as we go to the man of the hour, possibly for this session. I don't have a problem playing outside of my own like gender and stuff, but with this voice I have right now, playing a woman will be it's going to be horrible and it's going to sound great. I'm telling you, this will be the best sounding episode of any BDG live play you've ever seen, but it goes down one more to half lizard, half wizard, stronger than both. Old Josh King, if you could give us that who you are, what you are, in character reflection. I forgot you bought a superhero suit until just now. You did that. Yeah, I guess I ruined your in-character reflection. I'm sorry. It's your turn. Go.
No, I am a Banga with a black mage hat, and I also throw cards really well because I'm a card shark gambler. And yes, luck has carried me into a date with the fine mayor of this city, and I want to wow her in grand fashion, and so I went to a thrift store for some clothes, and it turns out that was able to make all of those into a superhero costume, so I can really be the lizard wizard. And I can, and for 7 minutes, thanks to the ability to cast fly, I can swoop into her life and be the superhero of her heart. But before then, I have to get through these damn woods. And stop torturing the monkeys!
Fair enough. The hero point is yours as always, my friend. And down we go next to the individual who was responsible for talking down the scenario. All Spellcraft, who are you? What are you? In character reflection, if you would.
He's a human spellcaster who puts on a brave face to deal with the trauma of losing his teacher to a corrupting force. She's a Sylvanchi Agathian who speaks to monkeys and doesn't afraid of anything. They fight ghosts. Possession problem? Cursed artifact? Screaming threats from beyond? Better call Saul. Saul Golden Soul is a human exorcist cleric and white mage who deals in heal and heal accessories. Last session, with the help of my familiar Luna Silver Soul, because craft names are very much a thing in this little enclave that he grew up in, managed to talk down a very frightened monkey creature and hopefully avoided reprisals in the form of thrown excrement from its friends.
Sorry.
You're fine. It's unmuting to laugh will always be fine. And frankly, Spellcraft probably has the best in-character reflections. Just in general at all amongst the squad. Good enough. Take that hero point. And next up is one part dragon, one part people that follows the dragon. Oh, Parallax. What are you playing? Who are you? What are you in character reflection?
Well, we have two dragons, brothers that have come to this strange land in search of just a place to live, and thought we were leading these cultural humes around the wilderness a bit, but it seems they have it handled. So I believe we're just looking for a place to live, some comfortable cave that has a nice amount of shadow energy surging through it, that we can spend the night because we're not all too comfortable living in a house. Oh, and Terrelix is here to rule everybody at some point or another.
At some point or another.
I'm getting character. Okay.
You did it. Good enough. We'll take it. Take it, and Tiki, take us home.
Well, I am Takisri the Artificer. I am a disciple of the Hand Engineer Monster Kin. And that basically means that I do monster things and I make things, but that's neither here nor there. Last session, we basically had monkeys sneaking up on us, and, well, I don't like things sneaking up on me. And then the healer decided to get mouthy with me, and I had to threaten the monkey. But that was that. I don't understand why we're out here. It's wasting time that I could be using making things, but, well, whatever. I guess it's always good to have a little time out in the woods. Good for you, I guess. Not for me, I don't breathe. The whole fresh air thing just does not work for me. So, I'm just going to sit and watch my companions, the little medic, the double dragon, and one on the motorcycle that's been driving along the branches for some reason, popping wheelies. See what I can come up with to entice them to stick around and basically be my meat shields.
Good enough for me. Take that hero point, and we will pick up immediately where we left off. To bring Ross up to speed, you guys have been tasked to basically map the area outside Eddard's Dawn. They haven't been able to explore anything yet. No one really knows what's out here. You guys have found what kind of appears to be a network of pine trees, the branches in some cases, the pines, and like the green bits in some cases latticed together to almost form like a web above y'all's heads. The roots are very Disney's Tarzan as you're traveling around, though it's definitely at some point Aloran's bike was put in the bag of holding into Kisri's chest because it's pretty icy out here, so it's not the most conductive to vehicular travel. Again, 1 square on the board is 1 hour's travel, and y'all have the floor.
Question.
Answer.
Knowing that we'd be going into the wilderness and that my bike would not be suited for it, is there not a public parking, sort of like parking lot or something like that where I can go and park it and whatnot and store it?
You guys actually have one better. Tikisri does have though it's not bombed out, basically the Red Rocket truck stop from Fallout 4 set up as their crafty base, and everyone was provided a place to live. Whether that be like if you would like a 1-room apartment on the edge of town like Nigel, or live in your workshop like Tikisri, or a house or whatever, you guys were handed it. So like if you wanted a place like a garage to park, you do certainly have that.
Yeah, Tiki paid for 3 months' rent for you.
Yeah, there was a lot of gold thrown around. Excuse me. There was a lot of
Oh.
gil thrown around last session.
I mean, I still had plenty of. I have like 400 some gil, so I probably was able to pay for my own stuff. But I would appreciate the gesture.
Yeah,
I'd probably just
you
get an
could have,
apartment.
Okay.
but she kind of
Living in the
did it
garage.
before anybody else could actually do their own stuff.
Yeah.
Lauren, seeing you do that, that would provoke a response from Lauren. That would be kind of important.
Okay.
I don't know if it'd be like. I hate to ask, can we go back to that response? Because
So what I'm hearing is for a couple minutes we need to have a flashback. Yeah, sure, I'm fine with that.
thanks. It's just kind of I imagine it's just kind of like I go to pay, you slam the money down or whatever. I just kind of like look over at you, Tiki. What are you doing?
What? I'm paying for my own place. Just so you know, for lead up, she paid 3,000 gil for her own place, and when the mayor started talking about the rest of the people getting their own places, and they were wiffle waffling, Tiki I'll just take 3 months for each of them.
Well, then he'll probably come to your side and say, "So then, why? Why'd you spend all that money for 3 months on rent for someone you just met?"
Well, we are grouping. It's kind of taking care of my own, but
That's an assumption you've made.
Well, I assume that we are going to be a group. Whether or not that is actually true is neither here nor there. For the time being, you are still one of my own.
I don't like belonging to people.
I did
So I'd
not say
appreciate-
you belong to me. I said you are one of my own. In other words, my group of people that I am currently with and requiring of a little bit of, what do you call it, cooperation.
Forgive me then. Linguistical differences aside, that sounded a little bit more indication that hinted at an indication of ownership. Kind of like straighten up. I just don't.
Oh no! If I
like-
wanted slaves, I would build them.
All right. That's a response and a half. I will give that to you. Just forgive me. I've come from a bit of a background where I'm used to people being nice to me, only to stab me in the back. So forgive me if I'm a bit overtly.
Oh, no, I understand. But here's the thing. My indentured servants tend to not have the mental capacity to want to be free. So, you are by far not something or someone I would wish to serve me.
Let me just ask you this much, then. A bit of an agreement between companions, cohorts, members of a group.
Yes.
Someone comes asking about questions about comes asking with questions about me. You say nothing. Someone comes asking with questions about you. I say nothing. Is that the agreement?
Oh, by all means. Though I have one addendum. Tell me so I can kill them.
I can work with that. I can agree upon that. And I'll offer my hand at that.
She'd shake it.
Pleasure to make business with you, Miss Tiki.
So, are you going to take the offered 3 months or not?
I'm not as lucrative as I wish, so I will take it for now.
All right, and no strings attached. It's, like I said, we are grouping for the time being, so it's free.
Very well. Very well. Well, then we should perhaps go catch up with the rest of them. I don't trust that little dragon to not mouth off about wanting to enslave all humans again.
That was hilarious.
It was hilarious. And just like walk off after them.
I'm still muted. Oh, we will take it back to the map. I guess one more relevant bit of information for Lauren is you guys, in the square you're standing, you did encounter a troop of about the size of like small arboreal monkeys, but they seem to be a little more intelligent, and they were possessed of an extra Kasatha or Goro, pick your fandom, set of arms. When you guys ran into them, Tekisri netted one, and Sol was able to defuse the situation, and they ran off in the northeast. They're very fast.
Fair enough.
In any case, I believe the plan was you would go from where the Lizard Wizard's token is, you would go left one, and then just kind of continue to fan out. Is that correct?
Yeah,
And I also,
it was
I also-
basically zigzag following the grid.
Okay.
I also just wanted to say I am totally in favor of using the Lizard Wizard as the group like mascot token.
Aw, I feel special now.
LW's art is probably my favorite of this go.
It is one of my favorites.
By the
considered-
way, yeah, special.
Considering he now has a superhero outfit.
Oh god, I keep forgetting, and then I keep remembering.
We need to get like a GoFundMe together. If we don't even need to GoFundMe, we just need to get Idaho to get on that. I just want that now.
I mean,
You missed it.
I
He
mean,
was already drawing it.
Yeah.
excellent.
I mean, I got my PayPal account set up again, so I can pay him.
If you guys can, unless you had Endure Elements or our Tekisri cast on yourself, if you could make fort saves. As you begin moving east, it gets real cold. The wind begins cutting through the trees, the snow, and it's always kind of like faintly flurrying, begins to pick up a little bit.
Now, remember, I did cast Endure Elements on myself.
Right. As a reptile, you are a little worse off. Or I guess also we could it's either Endure Elements is put on people or fort saves.
Now, is it the wind or the ice that is we're dealing with?
Combination of both. It's just real cold.
Okay, because I'm immune to one of those.
Ow. Which one are you immune to?
Wind.
Okay, so you have a bonus on your save then. I think is fair.
So I still need to make a fort save?
You do not. You had Endure Elements cast on you.
All right.
And
believe
the Albed
I-
have the Desert Runner trait, so
By the way,
4 on mine.
Okay.
on my character sheet, where would I find the number of spells that I have per day? Because I might be able to cast it on somebody else.
You don't have a number of spells per day. You have mana, and for as long as you have a mana in your mana pool, you can cast a spell.
Okay, sure.
Magic.
Sure. So basically, I think I've cast Endure Elements and Fly today, so that's 2 mana. And okay, so would it be in combat where I'd see like my amount of mana points?
So really quickly, that wouldn't be 2 mana. You would spend the level of the spell equals the cost of the mana. So like fly
Okay,
cost
you're
3.
right. All right, so 30.
Also, you're always aware of your mana. It's just like spell slot. It's basically their translation of spells, Pathfinder spell slots with the mana system from Final Fantasy. The trade-off is you get like a more free-flowing magic style, but at the same time, FFD20 has significantly lower out-of-combat intended spells.
Right. Sure. So I still have 26 mana. Does anyone want Endure Elements cast on them?
So far,
I remember.
Aloran and Nigel and Parallax have all 3 passed.
I mean, my character would probably just say he can tough it out. I've been through basic. I can go through this.
If
Sure.
I remember correctly, Tiki, did you create the Endure Elements amulet for my character as well as my cat?
Yes, those were the
Okay.
2 creations that I made last night.
Great.
Huh,
Okay.
I thought familiars share the magical items of a companion or of its master.
I don't think they do.
Don't know.
I'm not
Hmm.
clear on those rules. We can look at that later, though.
Of course.
Indeed. Okay, so then I just need, I guess, just Soul.
Every night before bed, when I have mana remaining, I cast Endure Elements because it's 24 hours and it makes perfect sense not to waste energy.
Good enough for me. Okay, so it's super cold, but you guys are able to shake it off as you move forward without really like, they're not trying to hide themselves. As you move further to the west, you get farther away from, like, the tracks of these monkeys, because there are a lot of them, and there's snow on the ground. It's pretty hard to hide those, even with the wind blowing around. But in that square, you guys do have to come up a little short as you clear the tree line and find the edge of the continent. Looking down, you can see clouds, blue sky, the vague outline of something below you. Really, really, really far down. To further explore in this direction, you would need magic on the entire party to fly, or you would need, like, climbing gear, because the island does cut down a little ways, and you could, in theory, climb down the side.
All right, so how many people need fly cast on them?
We're not going that way.
I mean, I have climb skill, so
I would pack a snowball and throw it off the island.
Okay. You do so.
Just watch it go down.
It responds as you think it would. You eventually lose it in the clouds.
If anybody needs a ride.
No, I believe our current plans were actually to make this loop and then head back to town for the Lizard Wizard's date.
Very well.
So it doesn't take much of a
the way
survival check. Actually, matter of fact, you probably can... Well, no, you can't. The tree line is really thick, because, like, there's not a lot of settlements out here, obviously, but, like, you guys have only been out for 3 hours. You still have... you got a while before, like, that night.
Sorry, I thought we were actually there. So, well, if we head north and then back the other way as the grid we were making goes. Was that not the plan, Nigel?
Yes. If we would go north, east 2 times, then south 2 times, that would put us at 8 hours of time out. And then an additional short time we should be back in the city before nightfall.
Right.
And you were saying it was kind of hard to discern direction?
It's not super easy, given that, like, it's basically wall-to-wall pine trees. You could certainly climb up. You can feel the wind, and, like, it's less of, like, a discern direction, more of a, like, you can't look south and see the city.
Okay, so what I would do at this point is, if there is a break in the canopy, I would actually fly up. Basically rockets coming out of both my hands and legs, and I'd fly up and find out which direction is which.
Okay, that makes sense. There's enough of a break in the, like I said, the lattice above you almost forms like a spider web. You Iron Man your way up with your hands out and your boots down and push up, and it takes a while. The trees are incredibly tall. Probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like 200-ish feet each, but eventually you do reach the surface. And if you could make a perception check.
And while he's doing that, I also have a compass. So unless there's something wrong about the way the compass works.
Okay, so Takisri reaches the top, and I will scroll out just a little on this map on Roll20. The first thing that comes to your view as you scan around, obviously you can see the town where they've like clear cut through the pines so they could build a city. Revealing on the map of this corner over here, a mountain range. You technically don't see like that. Whatever, good enough. You all get the idea. The mountains go farther out in both of the corners, out as far as the eye can see, and they are exceptionally tall. They seem to basically just almost as if to make the snowy pine foresty area that you're in form a peninsula on this continent, with the three sides not being water but being the open sky. In addition, I'll give you, I can reveal just that one there. That seems to make sense to me. To your east, quite a ways, you do see poking out from the trees what appears to be a bulkhead of a massive airship. The bulkhead itself, as you see the bulkhead and then you turn and you see Eddard's Dawn, and then you turn back and see the bulkhead. The bulkhead is bigger than the city. That would imply that the ship itself, like if that's just a little tip of the proverbial iceberg sticking up, it must be enormous. Tikisri, of course, remembers that Materia Corps wanted her to come and get salvage back from their ships that have explored the place and wrecked. This certainly must be one of them. As that's going on, Nigel looks down at his compass and his compass is spinning.
Lovely.
I take it they're not supposed to do that, I say sarcastically.
I mean, have you ever looked at a map?
Yes, I've seen a map before.
Have you ever seen one that just seemed to be like the painter was drunk and spun around before drawing it?
I was just being sarcastic. I just thought I would lighten the mood. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm actually kind of lighting the mood myself. I've seen it. It was crazy. Dude hurled on the map. Then we were told to figure out how to get back home using it.
Sounds like my family road trips. My dad was always confused by the maps. Not to the point of puking from vertigo, though.
Brienne Rothschild's
God, I have been
dad,
away
Chevy
from
Chase.
groups too.
I would actually also take note of the sun, because that is how I normally would gain direction, and then return to the ground and start describing the landscape I saw.
Okay, the sun sits where you think it would at about like noon, and north is up on the map. Actually, I'm gonna give you one more, I think, because you would see it. In this corner, it's not a corner, it's a square, there is a massive, it looks like the bones of something sticking up at an awkward angle out of the tree line. It's hard to say from here, but there's definitely something there that's not part of the landscape.
All right, so to the due east, we have a gigantic bulkhead sticking out of the tree line, which, in my experience with Materia Corps, I believe to be one of their crashed ships. To the northeast, directly, there is a mountain range, and a little further north from that, direction from us, rather, is the carcass of something that is larger than the treetops, which are quite a ways up.
When you say like north of our direction, do you mean like further north beyond the mountains, or do you mean like
it's
more
more
just
north.
like-
It's more northeast.
How far away?
oh,
Not gonna know.
Yeah, she basically described what she believes the distance to be. Whether or not she gets a bonus on that, considering she's a freaking robot, I don't know.
6, 7, 8. Can you give me like a survival check?
Sure.
Also, as he's rolling, a point of fact, as Tikisri begins talking about Materia Corps, no one else in the party has any idea what that is. With the 12 on the survival check, it will, assuming there's nothing in between here and there, it would probably take you on the order of, I'm just going to count the squares, tell you what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, probably about like a 12-hour walk-ish to get to that ship, depending on which way it's laying. The mountains are actually about a 12-hour walk as well. And it's about a 12-hour walk in all three directions to get to any of the locations.
And the rest
And she'd share
appears
that.
to be solid canopy evergreen forest.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, you're saying walk distance. What about flying? How long would it take to fly there?
That would depend on fly speeds and I guess it just depends on fly speeds, basically. Like,
Yeah.
piss kicker.
Lizard
Wrong game,
Wizard.
sir.
Lizard Wizard will mention that he flies a little bit slower than he walks. So that wouldn't be advantageous for him, at least.
Do I hear
The
split party?
distance is still shorter as the crow flies.
That is also true.
Well, we could scout those.
Seeing as I don't know exactly how fast you fly, but at my fly speed, it would be such and such amount of hours.
What is your fly speed?
I am actually looking that up right now.
Fair enough. Because, like, I'm assuming a move speed of 30 through difficult terrain.
Perfect 60.
Perfect 60. So you probably can move, like, 2 squares in an hour if you're flying at 60 perfect.
Yeah, because I actually spent on flight twice to get the perfect 60.
Sure.
I can
Actually,
take
no,
a
I spent it 3
passenger.
times. But anyway.
I can take a passenger if needed.
I don't think you can carry enough for all of us to travel that path, friend.
Not yet, no.
But I think we do have our plan for tomorrow.
Indeed.
That sounds like something we'll have to do.
Let's.
Out of curiosity, the bones that were sticking up, was there any way to tell from this distance what they might be from?
You can throw a knowledge check at the board. Not sure what, but maybe.
Could I throw in just an intelligence check? Because I don't have any knowledges currently.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I have a knowledge, but it's rolled as a profession check, and it doesn't have anything to do with what bones.
Indeed. Yeah, no idea. Something big. That's kind of all you got.
Yeah.
Saul would like to roll knowledge nature.
Okay, sounds
We're
great.
unable to see it.
He can roll with a neg after like it being described.
Can I actually just take him up there to let him point him at it?
I'd like to go
You
check
do
that
that.
out. Yeah, I'd like to check that out too.
Okay, so yeah, you can. Soul climbs onto Kissery's back, I suppose. I can show you the world. Flies up in the air.
Have you guys seen me in full dragon form yet?
I don't think they have.
I have not, no.
I do not think that we have.
No.
Okay, so the Aura is going to transform into a large dragon and take off into the sky.
Oh, so that's what they look like.
Black dragon.
Whoa.
Telepathically to the dragon. Okay, now I must ask. Do you shed? Do those scales come off on their own?
Only after every couple years. I need to,
I
grow
will
with
pay.
it.
I will pay you when you next shed for your scales.
Okay, I understand. That's kind of disgusting, but I'll consider it.
Not at
I know
all
that-
creepy.
Next time you cut your
Gro-
toenail.
Creepiness aside, could you just like pluck one out? Isn't it basically just like plucking a hair out or like
Oh, you
clipping
want a
a
fresh one?
fingernail?
I'm kind of.
Here's the
Alright.
thing.
Yeah.
Little dragon anatomy for us all. Dragons, the scales are not. They will bleed when you pluck one because they are actually not like hair. It is literally part of their skin. So until the next one comes in under it, it is there. It's required.
That's really an intimate gesture to hit for him to give you a fresh scale, and that's. So I don't think he knows you well enough for that yet.
I didn't ask for one. I asked for a shedded one.
Yeah, it's like asking Galadriel for 3 strands of her hair.
And Gimli flies across the
Yeah.
screen with his big dumb smile. Okay, so Parallax flies up, makes a knowledge nature check. Does Soul ride on the dragon or the robot?
Well, considering that I've got a little more experience riding Dragonback, probably on the dragon, unless Tick History offered first.
Well, if the dragon transformed over, then I would probably see if Nigel wanted me to take him up so he can scout.
Okay, that works too.
Yeah, I probably have one of the better survival skills going on.
All right, then I'd be taking Nigel up.
Okay.
Oh, would I also...
Parallax can aid in survival, but you're probably better than him. Parallax.
Did Brienne have something?
Oh, no, sorry.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so we've got lots of numbers thrown at the board. So...
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm staying on the ground because I think I'm smart enough to know that if I try to fly in this weather, it's going to get much colder.
Well, you have an Endure Elements on you. It can get really cold, and you're fine.
Okay.
In any case, do you want to fly up?
Me, yes. In that case, yes.
Okay. If you'd like to throw a check at the board as well, you certainly may. I will. The Knowledge Natures, Soul and Parallax look in the direction where this truly massive bone is just whip up into the air, and betwixt the two of you, Soul can identify it because Soul looks over at the wing of the beast he's riding and sees a similar structure in the wing, and so too can Parallax. It's obviously, it's humongous. It is, bigger than the buildings in Eddard's Dawn as well. But it's clearly one of the smaller bones in a wing. It's it is formed almost exactly like Parallax's, just humongous. As for the survival checks, you guys can all corroborate basically what Tick History was informed on.
Oh, I thought you wanted a fly check.
No, you're fine. Okay, so you rolled a fly check, and your LW comes up, and he's kind of backflipping a little. It is a little windy, but you're fine. Nothing is attacking you or anything. But yeah, the survival checks are, that's about 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They're all, give or take, about a 12-hour walk. That said, these things being as enormous as they are, there's probably more of it somewhere down on the forest floor. What do we have? The profession engineer for the ship, Tick History, can identify... It's a real good number. It looks not unlike, but it's really hard to tell right now because you're only seeing a bulkhead up through the tree line. But as big as it is, you would imagine something along the lines of a carrier or troop transport or something that was coming to either deliver or return with a lot of material. The ship is enormous. And Nigel can corroborate that. It stands to reason that whatever's in, if there's anything in that ship, it's probably on the order of a whole city that has been abandoned, at least looking at the ship. And yeah, I think that hits everybody, right? Yeah.
Can we also see the ship from up here, or was that during an earlier scouting run of Tick History's?
Yes, that is.
No, you can see
ship,
it.
Bone, mountain range, town. Not to throw everyone all over the board. I guess also really quick, the mountain range, everyone can corroborate that this looks like a peninsula, and the mountain range is dividing you from the rest of the continent. You don't see anything over the mountains. The mountains look like they go for a while, though.
Okay, Tommy, looking at the knowledge technology, which is what I've drawn off of the FFD20, and DC for identifying an airship by its type, that is a DC 15.
Okay.
Function or purpose of a particular mechanical system is a 20 and recalling the standard factory model's design specs, airship is a DC 25.
Okay, gotcha. So you've definitely never seen, and again, you're just looking at a bulkhead, so it's hard to be like, aha, that. But you can confirm you've never seen that particular make of anything before. It's definitely, again, it is here to either bring a lot of something somewhere or take a lot of something from somewhere.
So sharing my information telepathically with the group, and to Nigel, I think, I don't know, we're probably going to have to scout that ship first. Maybe we can get a little salvage before we have to turn it over to the city.
Agreed.
I would vote for that wing structure, but I would.
But but those are both 12 hours away from us, no? Sorry, I don't know if I can hear you guys telepathically. I'm still hanging out on the ground.
You can. I'd leave a link. I would relay at least.
That being said, let's finish our next round and return to town. We can make better plans when we're there.
Agreed. I would make myself a landing gently.
Okay, is that party consensus?
It's my consensus, yes.
Oh, yes, you have plans, sir.
No objection.
Okay, so you guys buzz around. It's not hard to find them. There are a lot of them. They're not really trying to hide, they're just trying to run. But boop, 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 doo, 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 doo. That green line there is more tracks of these lizard monkeys that are fleeing in the general direction of the mountains. Nothing happens over the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. Well, I will say that's the fortitude saves for the cold do tick every square. So they would tick 5 times to get to this point, unless the endure elements want to get passed out.
Who wants them?
Don't those last for 24 hours?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
So they're still active right now.
So Sol is fine. The Lizard Wizard is fine. Jareth and Brienne are fine. Takisri's fine because Takisri is a robot. It would have to get a lot colder for it to gum up her body. It just comes down to Aloran, Nigel, and Parallax.
I could have sworn Saul was passing them out like candy last night.
Good enough for me. Okay, so back to town you go then.
Either.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours have passed. You guys left around 7 a.m.
5 p.m.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So you guys arrive around dinner time, basically. You guys get back to the walls. The gates open for you. People are milling about. There are several people who kind of just space off into nowhere. And Aloran has seen this yesterday, and you guys have all interpreted that these guys are using the magic that they've been attuned to speak to their loved ones. In general, though, people are kind of milling around. There are probably random street vendors selling non-magical goods of all shapes and sizes, upwards of a gil, and well, I guess we're just on a gil standard, so 10 gil down. No one really greets you other than the guards who see you and they wave as they go back to dealing with what the tech characters would be able to identify as their anti-air pieces that are on the wall.
Okay, just because I've wanted to say this and you now have set up a perfect line for it, you said you had a good emperor voice.
Yeah.
My response to that is,
What is thy bidding, my master?
Make a craft check. JK, don't make a craft check. But okay, so what do you guys do back in town? I know LW has to go get changed and get ready for his date. I imagine.
But I
Dikisri-
don't think there's any random phone booths around.
Do I know about this date thing?
Yes. I think the whole party. Yeah, the whole party was there when you guys
Yeah.
had to stop at a clothier, and my man, he wears your granddad's clothes. He look incredible. I can't not picture walk into a thrift shop, come out dressed up like a superhero.
What?
He did do that.
Indeed.
Since there are no
Though
phone
I would
booths,
like- I would actually like to
There-
point out, though, that the lizard wizard went to the clothier on his own. We do not know about the suit yet.
Yeah, we don't know that.
Oh,
yet.
Because
okay,
I put
fair
it
enough.
in my pack. Yeah, I put it in my pack.
Okay, what was Spell gonna say?
I just realized that in character I did not know about the superhero suit. So instead, Saul and Luna will simply ask, "So what are your plans for your date tonight?" And Luna pipes up, "Yes, I hope it goes well."
Oh, here we go.
I do too.
Oh, we have 2 talking cat creatures?
Yes, technically she's a celestial that looks like a cat, but yes.
Close enough.
Oh no.
She shakes her head a little
Sa-
bit, and suddenly
Salem
she
Sphinx gonna get giddy.
calls herself Theron for a second, and then blinks a couple times, and then goes back to being just a different Sylvanshi that are so popular. Anywho,
So I'd say I plan on giving the mayor a view of the world like she's never seen before. Or at least I don't think she's seen before. And the lizard wizard's like fumbles his words slightly when he says that because like he's trying to figure out in his head what to say to her to impress her. So he's like, and so that's kind of where he goes with that. He's just like, I plan on showing her the city in a way she's never seen before, but I hope it works. And I gotta go get ready.
All right.
Hold on. Before you do, exactly what do you mean by see the city in a way she hasn't seen before?
I plan on casting fly and carrying her as I'm flying in this in these clothes that I bought.
Okay, by chance, do you know what type of mage she is? Because I'm pretty sure she has magic as well.
No.
Well, I hope for your sake she is a time wizard and cannot fly on her own.
I'm sure whatever it is that you have planned, she'll enjoy it.
Have fun.
Good luck.
Thanks.
It's too bad there's no way to produce a weighted triple triad card table that can float in such a short amount of time, because I just realized, given your interest, that would be a lovely thing to do for a date if she enjoys the view in the future.
That does not sound like a bad idea.
You would also have to provide a null wind zone so you wouldn't be able to, so your cards would not fly away.
Maybe our local artificer might be able to craft a flying triple triad table.
Is that a commission?
I'm just throwing an idea out there.
I'll consider it.
I mean, I can't speak for LW, but
I'm gonna go get ready.
have fun.
Thank you. And I like try to find or is there any place nearby that's a good place to like change without like everybody seeing me in my party suit?
yeah,
Your
there's
apartment.
your apartment is a good choice, or wherever it is you chose to live. Also, in addition,
Right.
Eddard's Dawn is a really big city, but there's not a lot of people here yet. So a lot of the houses are just blatantly unoccupied. So you could, and it wouldn't be like a B&E to like step into an unoccupied house, change, step out.
Sure, I'll do that, and I'll be wearing my superhero costume when I come back out.
Okay.
Anyways,
I'll be in my workstation, in my workshop.
When I go
But-
back to my apartment, I wanted to make use of that orb, the communications orb, and see if I could send a message to a certain somebody who might still be alive in Sargon.
Okay, so
Then I'm going to plans of my own.
plans of your own. Got it. Okay, so I hear Lizard Wizard. I guess I need to change his name on OBS for Bruntling. Has a date. Takisri is going to be a Crafton. We're going to use the sphere for Brienne. I'm just going to run down the line. Nigel, got any plans for tonight?
Write up the report, make a basic map, and I'll either do that. Okay, the question is which is closest, the diner, Takisri's workshop, or the local militia headquarters.
From where you
The
guys
bar
are,
and the workshop are in the same spot. They're
yeah,
across the
like-
street from each
they're
other.
like across the town square from each other, basically.
Okay.
So probably those.
Yeah. Miss Takisri,
Yes.
do you have a desk I can borrow?
I have a work table. A desk, no, but a work table, yes.
That would be wonderful. I'm going to stop by and get some paper large enough to begin maps from the and begin to write up as detailed a descriptor of terrain as is possible.
How many keys were on the set for each one of the places? Just one key per, or what?
Yeah, just like a key to the front door, basically. Or like a key that opens the front door and back doors where applicable.
All right. Well, looking to Nigel, I'll leave the door open, but I'll have to make you a key for later, in case you want to make things.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, so Nigel's gonna do a cartography. Lauren,
Yep.
what are your plans for the evening?
Nothing. I don't. Probably just chill at a local pub for the most part.
So nothing in particular, just hang out, get some food, get some drink.
Yeah.
Okay, works for me. And then we'll go down the line next to Brienne, who would like to use the sphere to commune back home. Who we calling? Who you gonna call? Soul Golden Soul. But that's a different story.
I'm going to be try and get a message to Sir Marcus Whalen. I'm not going to mince words here. I'm just going to go down the line. Hello, sir. It's me, Bree. I hope you're still alive, and I hope you're getting this message.
Okay, so
sorry if this is a little jarring for
as
you.
you go to do the talk, you go back to your house and like it's thinking about using what you have attuned to is basically enough to activate the item. There's a faint like itching sensation in the back of your head. You think about your former employer and just, well, I did not think I would ever hear from you again.
Wait, I thought these things only worked one way.
I don't know what you're talking
How
about,
did
girl.
you get access to one?
I'm afraid I have no idea what it is you are talking about.
That's okay. That's not important. What? Well, first of all, I'm okay. What happened at Sargon? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
What about my mother and father?
Were they magical in any way, shape, or form?
No, they weren't, but their daughter is, and that might have been an issue.
That makes sense. Okay. Well, I'm good enough at mincing words with the local authorities, passing some money around here and there. That stunt I pulled was enough to secure my own place, ensure my own loyalty, you understand. Your mom and dad are just fine too.
How bad are things there now?
Well, for me, they're not too bad at all. for anybody out there who has any kind of magical gift whatsoever that could be used to, and you can hear the air quotes, usurp the state. Well, it's you're in hiding or you've been executed for the safety and security of all.
Damn it. All of this, I can't believe that they instigated this. I can't help but feel like I was probably responsible for it.
I wouldn't quite go that far. Of course, Phantasma did have a name, a reputation, but at the end of the day, you know, girl, it's when people in power do not have access to all of the power, they do what they can to level that playing field.
Well, here at the Dawn, I forget what's the name of the continent again?
I will put the name of the city in. Well, I'll put it in chat. The name is Eddard's Dawn.
Well, at Eddard's Dawn, the people here seem a lot, well, they're definitely a lot more open-minded. Actually, magic is everywhere here. I've actually met a lot of strange and interesting people here. One of them in picture is actually quite scary, but I think she means well. That's neither here nor there, though. I have a big favor to ask of you, if you can.
Well,
I imagine you're probably still trying. You need to start trying to get the word out to anyone that you can who still has magic. That people need to find a safe place to get to. They won't be safe in Sargon, but I think they'll be safe here.
all right, I understand. I will say, girl, I'm very glad you ended up somewhere that ain't here. We're doing what we can. Again, when you're somebody like me, that is to say somebody who relies on their ability to fire a firearm and not snap their fingers and set a building on fire, it's a little safer. It's a little, well, not horrendous. There's a pause as like the air quotes come over again as let's just say that there might be some people out here who are marginally putting together some kind of resistance. There might be some buildings go up in flames. There might be some sinkholes opening up out of nowhere. There might be... Y'all understand.
Well, if a war is going to break out, that's just going to mean more people are going to be getting killed. But anybody who can't fight or is going to get caught in that crossfire needs somewhere safe to go. And they sure as hell aren't going to be safe there.
Well, that's just it. The people, by and large, they're eating this up. Apparently, in the eyes of our glorious leaders, the use of magic has held us back as a people. It has made us weak. It has made us reliant on things that are unnatural. And those of us who live in this fine empire, well, they're more than happy to see themselves lifted up at the cost of their fellow man.
I understand. Just consider it. If
I'll do what I can.
Anybody who doesn't feel like fighting and wants somewhere safe to go, come to Eric's Dawn.
I understand.
Anyways, I'll talk to you later.
Alrighty.
It seems there's some more interesting stuff going on here in the continent. I'll let you know more when I can. Or I'll tell you more when I can.
Alright.
Also, tell my parents I'm sorry that I never told them about my secret. They must be horrified that I left without them.
Well, your parents know everything, girl. After the events.
Yeah, well, I should have taken the courage to tell them that myself. Just tell them I'm sorry and let them know that I'm okay.
Of course.
I'll find my own way to contact them.
I am rather confused as to how we are conversing at this particular moment, but I will say I am very happy to hear your voice again.
Yours too. Stay safe, friend.
You as well. And there's it kind of, as the conversation has been going on, the connection between you and he has become very staticky, almost very tenuous. And as like the goodbyes are said, there's just like it feels like someone took a knife and cut through the connection. It simply ceases to be.
Well, that's not good.
Did you have anything else?
Well, I guess I'm gonna turn to Jareth. Well, pal, I feel like I need to go blow off some steam after all that's happened. You can do whatever you want tonight, just try not to cause any trouble. If you say so. You know, I didn't realize that other familiar was actually a cat. I'm gonna go see what that's all about. Oh gods, please don't, Jareth. Don't what? Do what I think you're going to do. I just want to go ask about them. In case I want to know what it's like to be a familiar who didn't grow up in a bigoted country that wanted to purge magicians. Now that Brienne is going out the night, I'm going to put on a disguise for myself, and I'm going to go see what the nightlife is like out there. Anywhere where there's like live performances or like dancing, I'm gonna be all over that and see if I can sneak in as like a mystery performer.
Okay. Yeah, there are a couple of places throughout the city. Most of the like big businessy kinds of things are still pretty unoccupied. People are still kind of filtering in, but there are a couple of like hole in the wall jazz clubs, basically. There's one not super far from where you're staying, just like basically probably like the basement of someone's house that has been, I won't say retrofitted, that's wrong, but like that's where people are hanging out. There is a little makeshift stage, which is basically just a table that's had the legs hacked off, upon which someone has set up a really simple drum kit. A Hume woman in the back is just kind of keeping a steady beat while a little Moogle with a saxophone almost as big as its body is flying around playing a pretty upbeat something 3-4 times something like scatty, I guess.
All right. Well, when I have a moment, I'm gonna go. So I'm gonna like use my disguise self abilities to basically, you know, like how the character art looks right now. I'm gonna put on like basically like a very. I'm putting on like a dancer's garb. Like I've got like the long like purple dress with like the rhinestones. I've got the mask on, and I'm gonna go and convince the people at the stage to let me on, and I'll show them like some real music and show them an actual
Okay,
time. It's in my words here.
that makes sense. Okay, so yes, Aloran can be there. Make a disguise check opposed by Aloran's. What beats disguise checks against sense motive? Yes.
All right, yeah, I will try that.
Followed by a
boys,
perform
then.
check.
It's just a 1d20 for me. It's,
D20 plus nothing.
yeah.
Okay.
Look at the dice. Hey, the dice.
You rolled real good,
No.
but to no avail. So Brienne comes in, but Aloran doesn't realize who it is. Just a woman walks in. A quick perform check, if you would.
Okay, I'll make 2. I'll make sing and dance.
Sure.
Pretty lady number 3, pretty lady number 4. The drill, song, dance. Ha ha ha. I was more interested in the Moogle playing saxophone. That was interesting.
Just a gigantic tenor sax that's as big as his body.
Yeah, no, I found that to be intriguing, if nothing more from a logistical standpoint.
Okay, so Brienne gets on stage. There's like everybody notices her as she walks in and gets on the stage, and there's probably like maybe like 24 people here, all told. And the checks are wildly successful. You're kind of able to just slide in time. The drummer at first is like, "Who is this?" and then rides with it. The little Moogle with the saxophone. So many Moogle NPCs in this game. I'm telling you, continues just kind of like seamlessly slides into harmony with you, following you, like your voice along and accompanying you. The performance is phenomenal. Everyone eats it up. There's no you are not showered with gil, but everyone has a good time. So let's slide over to Runtling. Oh, Lizard Wizard, the time has come. My voice feels a little better. I think I could be the mayor.
Okay, I'm here. And so I get dressed and I will take myself over to the mayor is at like her place of residence.
You guys had agreed to meet in that bar. I keep wanting to say tavern or inn. That's incorrect.
Sure. So I'm going to open up the bar, and I'm gonna walk into the bar and look for her, and trying to look as superhero-y as I can, which I may or may not know how superheroes are supposed to act like.
Okay. So you walk into the door of this place, and I guess like hands on hips, chest out, with this gigantic diamond with LW on it, and of course she's there and she sees it, and she's sitting at a table idly like bouncing cards around, not like trampoline, just kind of like pile shuffling really fast, and sometimes like spinning a card on its edge and setting it back down. And she looks up and, well, that is not what I. Hi. She waves for you to come over.
And I ask her, would you care? You want to come fly with me?
Sure, that sounds good. And Flapjack comes over carrying a bunch of food. She sets some gil on the table, shakes her head. He shrugs, takes it back, and I'll follow you.
Sure. So I don't know if you've ever flown before, but give me your hand and I'll cast fly on us, and we'll be off to go wherever it is you'd like to go.
And you will show.
I hear there's some the city has a pretty good nightlife. Like some places to go for music or performances and stuff.
She nods. There have been some music-y types make their way into the city, and she takes your hand and you guys take off. It's not much of a sense motive check from the Black Mage who's doing this to know that she could probably cast this on herself if she wanted to, and she's kind of just playing along. The biggest thing in the city, again, is the statue of what you assume to be, or no, what you do know, rather, is the guy who founded the place, Eddard, just kind of like Statue of Liberty style, smack in the middle of the town. Other than that, the buildings are like 1 or 2 story affairs. They're very, very neatly arranged, though. Almost as if like you had a cookie cutter of a city and you just smacked it down and then pulled it out of the dough, and town it was.
So I'm going to look at my skills. So I'm gonna throw a geography and a history check to see what I can know about this city, just and specifically like as I'm seeing things, whether I would recognize some of them.
Okay, sure.
And just be able to carry that kind of conversation.
Okay. So with the geography check, it's snowy forest with a mountain range on the other side. It's the fact that this continent appears to be floating above the clouds is a little strange. You would think the atmosphere is a little too thin up here. Somehow it is not. You could also, like, in this time, you could fly down the enormous, basically just running off the edge of the island pier, of which at the moment there are 0 ships. The geography check basically just tells you that this place is obviously very not normal and nothing like what you've ever seen before. The history check is, it's awkward because you've only been here a little while, but one town on the edge of nowhere, basically, that has been apparently set up by, at best, like a benevolent dictator. It's hard to say because you haven't met the man, but there's a giant statue of him in the middle of town, and people talk about him like he's the cat's meow. That doesn't really inform much, but I guess it does kind of remind you of home. It would remind you of the judges and how they seem to form a similar yet different sort of arc, the same people.
So that's exactly where I'm going to start the conversation at. Basically, I'm going to comment on the statue and say, kind of reminds me a little bit of the judges back home.
Judges? What are those?
Well, I'll tell you, they don't wear powdered wigs. And I'll say that with I'll try to laugh at that. Basically, they give a lot of orders, and they go into a city, start giving orders, and you either obey or you stop existing. They claim that they're trying to bring perfect order and everything, but I had to hightail it out of the place where they're trying to rule because of that. And, kind of noting that I hope that the person that the statue is showing was a little bit better. Like they treated their people a little bit better. And just also saying how much, he just loves, he's looking at everything very curious because this for him is the first time that he's ever seen the city like this. And he's just, it's like, I love this city. I love this is all very cool.
And, I see. And it does look rather pretty, I imagine, because there's snow on the ground and there are lights. Electricity is a thing. So you look down and the light reflects off the snow and the sounds of streetcars, and people do see you as you take off, and occasionally they stop and point and things of that nature. The mayor nods and, well, I'm sorry that happened to you. Eddard's Dawn was founded as a place for people to begin again. A place where we can be safe from those who think they understand the world a little better than everyone around them. Is there no one back home? No one you'd want to speak to?
I tell her that my family basically kicked me out the door as soon as I was old enough to walk. And I lived in a place called Rabbitcaster, and they didn't take to people making fun. The Vieira that ruled the city didn't take to people making fun of them very well. I was like, so I eventually had to leave there too. I just and like I go from being serious to start gushing. It's like I really would love to make this city my home, and if you ever need, if you city ever needs a superhero, I'd like to be the superhero of this city, but um, I'd like to also be the hero of your heart. And I give her like my best, you know, genuine smile and such. Just basically praying inside that she finds him, worthy. Like she like just if nothing else, to be a good friend.
Okay. You begin gushing at her, and she, at the superhero bit, she sees the get up, the cape that is fluttering in the wind as you guys go about the city. As you get a little too close to the walls, the people who are on the walls begin scrambling, and for like a hot second, there's anti-air guns pointed at you, and then they realize, don't shoot the mayor, and they don't shoot the mayor. Of course, Eddard's Dawn is a place for everyone, including you, and we would love it if you could call this place your home, and I mean, we need all the heroes we can get. But you gotta remember that no humanoid is an island. Surely there's somebody back home that misses you. Someone who would want to hear from you again.
I tell her about the circus that I'm a part of, and I was a part of, and I say, I definitely would like to talk to them again. And I will very soon. Just like I said, the judges, I want to be careful when I talk to them because of those judges. Like, I don't know, we had to all run out of town, so I'm not sure if they're even safe right now, which I suppose would mean I really should check on them.
Well, one thing. When you use the sphere and you speak to people back home, you are connecting to them telepathically via magic. It's, I suppose, possible for someone to party line, but I really think you'll be fine. Unless they know what they're looking for, and no one's sniffed us out so far. The night passes, you guys fly all over town, and it gets to the point where like it's starting to get pretty late, and well, I should probably get back home. Running this city is a taxing thing.
All right, so I will lead her home, and I tell her that I would really love to see her again, and if she ever needs me to help her with any of those problems that are on her mind, that I won't, just let me know. I would, and I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Like, I haven't known her well enough to like kiss her hand or anything, but like he'll do that, and I imagine he'd probably be just like feel like he's floating, like after that, just grinning from ear to ear. And
okay, yeah, her house is a pretty simple affair. A lot of the houses look pretty similar. She lives in the she doesn't live super far from where Nigel's apartment is, on the edge of town, in just a simple one room house, and you take her home and she smiles and hugs you, and let's do that again sometime. It's very rare I get taken out by anyone, let alone superheroes. And she goes back in for the night. Anything else, Josh?
That'll do it. Like, he probably wants to get something to eat, and might even feel a little bad that I'm sure she has food at her place, but yeah, he's gonna see if Flapjack, and Flapjack has anything like any leftovers or something like? Because I don't know how late the bar is open.
It's probably closed at this point. It's pretty late. You guys have kind of lost track of
Right.
time buzzing around the city.
Sure. Then I'll just I'll head to my apartment and scrounge up some grub.
Okay. There's like all of the houses have a basic, like there might not necessarily be a 5-course meal waiting for you, but there's bread, there's meat, there's cheese, there's like the simple amenities, so you're able to whip something up before you call it a night. And now I see in my chat that our cleric and our dragon would like to be together for theirs, so we will send it down the line to Jareth and Parallax and Soul and Terralix. Your plans for the evening, my friends.
I was hoping to locate the cleric. Where would?
Okay. I imagine that isn't hard.
Saul has set up basic Chocobo grooming supplies in his basement so he can tend to his Chocobos during the cold. Thanks to Luna, he has explained the situation to the poor dears and about how 2 of their riders shan't be returning because of what happened. And on a lighter note, he's explaining that once the weather clears up, as Takisri helped them with some gear, they will be able to frolic in the snow if they wish. Otherwise, they'll have to make do with their demiplane, and maybe he'll join them every now and again so they can go running together while he's grooming them. He is working and talking.
I step out of the shadows in your basement. Good evening.
Boo! Sorry.
Oh wait, I'll throw that spell out. Hold on. Bam.
Luna turns around and looks at the both of you. Normally one knocks first, but we're all friends here. What's up?
My
Saul
apologies.
is...
I am not used to doors. I was wondering if I could pick your brain for a few moments. You are, how you say, a holy man? Are you not?
Saul nods. Among other things, yes. Is something troubling you? I know we're not different enough in age for me to go my son as some of the religions require, but I'm here for you and I'm willing to listen. Assuming you don't mind the fact that I'm tending to my feathered friends here.
No, not at all. I always seek the wisdom of my elders whenever I am whenever I was at home. And considering that you are probably the closest thing to it, I could say you are as close to a shaman in this group as it gets. You're the only other one besides myself that is primarily magic user based.
Well, I do the work of both Minerva and those spirits that wish for my aid, yes. I'm more than willing to talk shop or simply listen if you've got problems you want to hear. Or if you wish to discuss your problems, rather.
Well, I was wondering if I could get your opinion on this little situation I have here. We have here with all of these creatures gathered, and I'm just trying to find my place in all of this. It seems just a little bit odd to me as a monster and among all these humes. And
Out of character, what species are they again? The Aura, right?
Technically Aura, but dragons, they are considered. They're black dragons.
That's understandable. Where I grew up, it was mostly humanoids of one sort or another, but the gods made who they wished, and most of them just simply wished for us all to get along. I certainly harbor no hatred in my heart, and makes me sad that people do. And he shakes his head a bit. Sorry, I try not to be so serious around everyone else. It helps me deal with some of the things I've gone through. And at this, Luna lightly lashes Saul's neck with her tail and shakes her head. It's not good to bottle these sort of things up. You should at least talk with someone.
Indeed. I should come to my second point, the reason I came here. I wanted to know, do you draw any power from shadow magic?
Not that I'm aware of. However, light and dark are two aspects of the same coin. I have heard enough of the theory that given time to train, I could probably pick up a little, but
I just
no.
want to make sure. I have a strange request of you, and I wanted to make sure first before. You seem to be the only one that would not really freak out at this, but please excuse if I'm asking too much here. Could I eat your shadow?
Okay, at this point, Saul would be rolling Knowledge Arcana, and since out of character, my device is charging, I can't make the roll.
Sure.
Someone who has my character sheet, please make the roll.
Oh, is your character sheet on FFD20? Why, yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So, Arcana. Okay, you have an 18.
All right, how much do I know about this process?
You probably understand that it won't harm you. It's a little unclear exactly what he means or what it will do, but it seems to be benign.
The gods make us as they wish. If that's what you need to stay healthy, I suppose I can take one for the team, as they say.
I promise you, it does grow back. However, the elders told me that I should be careful when eating those who draw from shadow magic, because it does tend to disrupt their ability to tap into the shadow magic.
Well, as long as it doesn't harm my ability to tap into the light, I don't think you'll be down a healer.
Oh, definitely not. And it should grow back by tomorrow morning.
And at this, Saul sort of strikes a pose holding a few different objects. And if he gets any sort of look, he simply explains, why, seasoning, of course.
Are the lights up in the basement at any bit?
Oh, yes, there are shadows that are being cast. Okay. And if you need more shadows, he'll torchlight for you. And Luna will be more than happy to use some dancing lights. And since...
Just the one is necessary. So Parallax is going to... I only have to do this once a week, every so often. I usually consume winds as my primary element. But being a black dragon, I need this sort of sustenance to, I guess, stay healthy, according to the elders. So he smells the shadow, and it sort of sucks it into his mouth. And after swallowing it, you're not casting a shadow at the moment from the lights, oddly, and it doesn't feel different, but it's kind of weird when you notice that it happened.
Does he feel it? I was gonna say maybe yes, no, but I think I'll let the person who has invented this be the one who decides. Yeah. What does it feel like, if anything?
I think, yeah. I figured it's like when you see a person that doesn't have a shadow, you know there's some kind of thing unnatural with them, like, oh, that's a vampire or something. But the person themselves, unless they saw it happen, probably completely missed it, unless they're trying to cast some kind of shadow magic. That's at least my take on the matter.
Luna has been keeping up a running commentary of the situation in Chocobo using chirps, squeaks, and the like. And at this, Luna pipes up. Well, the flock is willing to indulge you if you've got enough treats for them. They certainly aren't using their shadows at the moment.
Consider it for next time. That was quite full. Filling. Shouldn't need one for a while now.
Well, given recent events, Saul does cast a rather long shadow, and Saul is just sort of shaking with silent laughter at the terrible, terrible joke.
I actually understood that.
So as this is going on, the chocobos all have sent. I'm pretty, and they're just yellow chocobos for like meta reasons. I'm pretty sure one of the Durgans has, if not both of them, has some kind of blind sense, blind sight kind of thing. Right?
Yeah, Terralix has blind sense.
Okay, so you guys, Terralix realizes that the hairless cat that's been traveling around with Brienne is hiding under, like, behind a chair, I'll say. The chocobos are all able to sniff it out and probably have communicated to Luna this whole time that there's somebody there.
Oh, Luna could probably pick it up too. She's just been very polite.
Also, the Sylvanchi, of course, has the ability to pick it out, yeah. Jerbear, the jig is up. God, that is the most adorable thing. Ah! You Jerbear.
I don't like being called that, for the record. Anyway, hi there. Don't mind me. I was just eavesdropping from here in the distance.
Hail and well met, Dark One, she says with a smile.
Dark One. Is that a compliment? It doesn't feel like one. You know what? I'll pretend it is. So.
Well, I wasn't saying anything mean about you, if that's what you mean.
Sorry. So, shadow eating, huh? What does it taste like, by the way?
Absolute darkness.
Sounds divine.
Actually, quite the opposite.
Anyway.
At this, Luna
Oh,
is
right.
cracking up, and Saul is sort of joining in as he's starting to put dots together.
Sorry, I just figured that since my master is so freaking inert that I would do the service of getting to know her new companions while she's off doing, I don't know, gods know what. We never got the chance to be acquainted officially.
Terralix. And this is my brother Terralix, who is sulking in the corner.
What's he sulking about?
He's just being lethargic.
Mm.
Like a little dragon cat.
As a Jareth can absolutely relate to that. So, you can talk to these oversized chickens, huh? I never was able to manage that. But I guess talking to humans tends to be a bit more productive and interesting, I guess.
Depends on the human, really, Luna pipes up.
That it certainly does.
And at this, Saul shoots back, well, I do try my best.
Uh-huh. So, how did a darling creature like you end up with someone like this guy? I don't know how to describe Soul's character. I guess this... Is your character very short?
A little. His ancestors
Alright.
tended to be rather short.
He'd probably call you with a stumpy humor like this one. No offense. Jareth is very sarcastic and kind of sardonic in how he talks to people.
Well, we can't all grow luxurious coats like yours.
Okay, touche. Just to clarify, he has no coat to speak of. Jareth is got like a pallid, like his
Oh, he
skin is
knows.
basically the
Yeah.
color of a bruise.
Just for the audience.
Just for the audience to
Yeah.
know that it is a Sphinx cat and
Yeah.
the shade is being thrown. The shadow might be gone, but we still got shade to throw at Jared.
Nailed it. All right.
It will keep coming. Anyway, how did you two end up in service to each other?
Well, I had to deal with a fair amount of necromancy and demonic activity, and perhaps at some point I'll tell you the story. But my home is pretty much full of magic users, and when the time came, my teacher thought I should find a familiar, and at this point Luna starts up. Well, when two celestials love each other very, very much. Oh, wait, you meant the more recent stuff. Well, I was simply hanging out on Nirvana, and I felt the call. And since I was the one that resonated the most strongly with the person that was calling, I decided to come check it out. Honestly, I'm glad I did. As humans go, he's very sensible. He offers treats every now and again. He takes good care of his animal friends, and she nods at the Chocobos, who are sort of, they think they're being, or they realize they're being talked about, so they sort of puff up and preen a little to show themselves off better. It appears that they've learned how to pose.
Ooh, wait, did you say from Nirvana? Okay, Jareth is gonna roll a knowledge planes on that.
Okay, sure.
Yes, and I would like to scan her now that I know she has a.
Okay.
Hasn't hidden it that much. She just hasn't had much to say before this.
Indeed.
They
She
don't
wanted-
exactly give out gifts like mine in boxes of breakfast cereal and cookies.
Any
But wouldn't
magic
it be
that I
much
can
more
learn?
interesting if they did?
And I roll exactly a 1.
You have no idea what a Nirvana is. As far
You're
as
picturing a blonde-haired man and a strange cover with someone floating in a pool.
Oh, you are a treasure, Spellcraft.
Your knowledge the planes check so badly that you are picturing a kind of nirvana that you shouldn't even know about, and it has no bearing on things whatsoever.
So scanning a Sylvanchi. It's awkward because this has come from a different bestiary.
Okay.
Can you cast Gaseous Form? Is that on your spell list?
Actually, that sounds familiar. Let me check.
Would I at least know enough that I know that she's not, like, from the material plane?
It's awkward.
Well, I
You
mean,
can-
she flat out said that.
And magic is a thing. But
I don't know.
everything else is kind of like, it's hard to piece together. Anyway, I gotta look me at the Blue Mage spell list from FFD20 because I want something to come out of that. But it's, we'll have to see. Blue Mage.
She can cast Dimension Door.
Can you cast Dim Door?
That's effectively the Shadow Blink spell that I have.
Okay, fair enough. Well, let's Control F. Gas E. I think I spelled gaseous form wrong. Words are hard. E. Oh, nope. G-A-S-E. Oh, so you don't have gaseous form on your spell list. How's your
Her spell
charisma?
list is actually rather nice.
My charisma is 8,
Okay,
but
so
I go off of intelligence. I translate it into intelligence anyway. It's not
okay, so
supernatural gets charisma, but I use intelligence.
that makes sense. I was gonna give you cat's luck, but that would be bad because adding your charisma to your saving throws will hurt you. How about commune? Is that a spell? You can't cast commune. I'll say. I don't know.
Speak with animals could be a thing.
I'm real leery about giving you a +8 enhancement bonus to strength for a minute. That seems good.
Yes, it does.
That seems way too good for the marshal. Let's not do that. Let's chill. I'll say it's
Stabilize it wouldn't be bad.
yeah. Is that on your spell list? Not, I'll say to do a little bit of homebrew, you can get True Speech as a whatever level spell that is for. I have no idea. Hang on.
7th.
7th?
Yeah.
Yeah, true speech is 7.
Mm. True speak at 7th level. Yeah, sure. Or no,
Oh.
yeah, you play more like at 5th level. You get it at 5th, like a wizard.
Okay. Yeah, the 31 will allow me to learn that.
Okay, good enough for me. Sometimes you gotta do a little bit of improv. So, does scanning and learning something, does that have a sensation at all? Like, does Luna know what's happening / do they feel it?
I'm kind of caressing their shadow. It's as a blue mage, I have the ability to first identify a creature that has a supernatural ability that I can learn as a spell, and then I make the check, and the Q would lick the monster in order to learn the ability. I think I actually have to ask her to use that ability so I can see it in action, and then I can copy it.
Fair.
Sure. And at this point, she's turning to the Chocobos and describing everything that's happening in detail, actively using true speech. And the Chocobos seem quite amused at this, if their tittering laughter seems to be any indication.
Quark,
And
quark, 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 quark.
once they start laughing even harder, it would probably become obvious to the infernal cat that she just revealed a certain bit of byplay.
I don't know what that means.
It means she got to the point where she described the sick burn that Sol delivered you.
Probably. I have no idea what you're saying to the birds, by the way.
No, but a simple sense motive and judging how much they're laughing would probably be a hint.
They probably all look at you as well.
All right. Just out of character, with like the speaking with animals, like, are we assuming that the animals are like, what intelligence level are we assuming for them in terms of what we can articulate to like certain creatures?
So a chocobo has...
Because like trying to explain like a joke to like a dog.
They're pretty smart in the series, and they've shown themselves to be incredibly perceptive.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, they have 2 intelligence. We'll say these are like a 3. I'm not super uncomfortable about giving you something at CR1 that is a little smarter than it should be. It's mostly just flavor.
And
Thank you, Tiki.
Luna is incredibly okay with being learned from by a blue mage. We have them back at Saul's home, but they don't quite work the same way you do. A few of my tricks, I don't mind. It's always good to share.
Oh, let's see. What are you? If I may ask, you're a cat?
Yes and no.
I don't think cats usually have too much in the way of monstrous abilities. They're animals, certainly, but I wouldn't call them monsters.
But that was a very cat answer.
Yeah, indeed.
It was.
Okay, so the blue mage learns a thing from the cat. You guys talk about your stuff. Is there anything else either of you two want to do?
Honestly, the grooming, the conversation, and at some point Saul would appraise his teacher's family and the elders about what's been going on as much as he's been allowed to share, but I think he did a lot of that last night too.
Okay.
So he simply has an update penciled in.
That makes sense. Okay. Anything else from Parallax?
No, I just want to a place where that we rented for me to stay for the night since I don't have a cave yet, and I will stay there, try to make do with, try to close all the windows.
Okay.
Find the darkest corner to fall asleep.
I guess, Eddar's Dawn has a sewer system. That's a thing that I'm not used to having in my settings that certainly exists in the 40s. It would stink, but it's probably the closest thing to a cave.
Oh, there
suppose
are
I
wards
just-
and magic that can be used.
Would like a little, someplace a little drier, and I'm just, I don't know about the sewer, but a house works. I've lived in a hut before. I'll just make do with what I have right now, and then be searching for a home in a cave somewhere.
Okay, makes sense to me. So, off to Takisri, at the bottom of the order.
But yeah, I would finish the first one, and then we would not have to start out any earlier. It's just at the first time that it would actually be a decent hour to contact the mayor, I would be walking out of my shop, putting up a for hire sign or a help wanted sign, and going to find the mayor.
Okay, which item is the one we finish?
That would be the one for the engineer, the thief. It's extra thief talent.
Okay, got you. Okay, so it's probably
So,
like
putting up a sign for help wanted.
Got you. It's probably like 6-7 in the morning. People are moving around.
Help wanted sign on my shop. I would find the nearest possible house to my shop that is not taken. Take the keys out of the mailbox, and then go to find the mayor.
Okay, sounds good to me. There's probably like a block away. There's a house that's open.
Okay. Finding the mayor.
You were able to do so. She has made her way back to the center of town, making like basically Flapjacks I guess that's what the place is called. Sure. Flapjacks is the place in town to get food, basically. There are other places, sure. It is the most popular.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning. She tips her fedora black mage hat. She doesn't milady you. I'm making the milady motion on my webcam, but she's much less neck-bearded than that. In any case.
Just to let you know, an upkeep of this and that and other such things. I have acquired a house, so my rent will be changing to 35 gold, I believe it is. If I change the math, that would be 6 and I believe about 6.5 years if you were to adjust the rent I've already paid you. And there's now a help wanted sign on my door. If you know anyone that requires work, I will be hiring for a shopkeep.
She nods. I can probably find somebody.
Also, I would like to know who I would talk to about setting up a what do you call it? For stock in the shop that is not something I would make. So, packaged foods, that kind of thing.
You'd like to share the space with someone?
Oh, no. I mean, my shop actually has a general store built in. I figured I should get stock.
Ah, I see. Yeah, we can probably put something together.
And I need to set up an arrangement for paying them for the stock.
Makes sense. Well, we don't necessarily have anything in the way of packaged food here. No plants or the like, but yeah, we can probably get perhaps some... This place is weird, and she leads you on a walk across like several side streets, and despite the cold, there are some houses where like fruits and vegetables are like being grown. Everything from like corn and wheat to the likes of which you've never seen before. Something along the lines of this?
I don't know. I don't actually eat anymore. I don't know if there's actually another general store in town, so whatever you think would be good to actually be put in a store for people to come and buy what they don't have.
Makes sense.
I
She
deal
nods.
with mechanicals. I repair vehicles. I build vehicles, that kind of thing. I'm trying to set up the stock of the regular store that's built into the shop. So,
Fair enough.
seeing as I'm going to be hiring someone to be there, I might as well sell something, not just do repairs.
Makes sense. Yeah, we can probably find somebody. Actually, at that, let's. I'm gonna drift on over to the races. I want to use a race.
And then anyone that would be working in my shop comes with free board. That's the reason I grabbed this the house.
Makes sense. Okay, so I'm gonna jump over here and scroll to the bottom. I've rolled an 18. Okay, so then 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Well, that's awkward. Okay, so it seems to be a thing that happens a lot when I GM for Tiki, and I need to roll randomly on a table to determine a thing. The 18th race down in the base race category is pretty good for what we're trying to do. So at this, there's a couple of people are walking like down the sidewalk. Basically, you're going the other way. A couple of Humes are talking back and forth. There's a shorter Hume man with black hair that is like slicked back, running about down to his shoulders. His eyes are the first tell as he turns to look. His eyes are a cerulean blue. Now that you know what you're looking for, his motions are a little more on the mechanical side. It almost seems as if he was following this couple to learn how to emulate them. Clearly it is a Shindroid. The mayor grabs him.
Considering I have had a Shindroid friend, and part of my makeup includes the remains of a Shindroid.
Yeah, for sure. The mayor grabs him as I try to find, where are the random names? I need a random robot name. He can have a boring name, I guess. The mayor kind of just like puts an arm around him. He stops short, looks very mechanically. Adam, I have a job for you.
All right, hold on. Just putting it out there. If you actually made it a female, it could be Katie, K80.
Nah, it is a male. His name apparently is Adam. You're good with numbers, right? Yes. You need work. You need gil. You need something to pass the time. Yes. Well, meet Tikisri. She's looking for help, and he turns, looks you up and down. You are... what are you?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that. I started out life as an Albed. An explosion caused me to nearly die, and did kill a Shindroid friend of mine, and destroyed a Magitech. And my automatons decided to combine them all to make what you see here.
I see. I am...
Do you have a problem with my previous, being, or my current one, considering it is part made up of a Shindroid and a Magitech?
I do not. It is rather curious to me. And you see, I think Shindroids can probably pull this off. Yeah, it'd be fine. You see because you know what you're looking for. His left hand has a like white glove over it, but his right hand has nothing. And there's a faint line where wrist becomes forearm, where like something would raise up, like there is a panel there that will boop up. He does so, and out comes two little barrels. I am capable of defending myself. You, however, are much more augmented than myself. This is curious to me.
Well, I could share. I could also help upgrade you.
This is pleasing to me. Yes, I will work with
Well then. She'd hand over the keys to the house she acquired. This is part of your wage, and she'd also hand him probably about 300 gil. This shall get you started money-wise for wages. Do you think you are capable of helping me set up a stock for the actual store? It is I do custom items, and it does have a general store area, so that would require some additional stock.
Indeed, I do not require food. I do not require sleep. I must regenerate. But that is all. I am happy to perform this task.
Well, if you do not wish the house, go ahead and hand the keys back to the mayor, and you'll just receive that as extra money.
That is acceptable. I will regenerate behind the counter. He hands the keys
Indeed.
over. He falls in behind you as you guys walk back to the store. He surveys the area, surveys the garage.
Well, mi casa is su casa, or rather, my home is your home.
Indeed. He begins. He goes to like the general store part of Red Rocket and starts like sweeping up.
I'd probably put about 2,000 gil in the till. Just take what you need to set up stock.
Of course. It shall not be long. He finishes like he's pretty efficient given that he's a robot, and sweep, 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 sweep. It's all basically taken care of. He takes the entirety of the gil and leaves the store. Anything
Looking
else?
to the mayor. Just looking to the mayor. He is trustworthy, is he not?
Well, he's here. I haven't had to do anything about him. Adam is strange, but so are you.
Yes, we do seem to fit, don't we?
Funny how that works.
Indeed.
So does he...
How...
I'm sorry, I don't understand. Does he have a soul? Forgive me if I'm coming off as awkward or rude.
Yes.
Okay. And how did it get there?
How did your soul arrive in your body?
Well, there are a lot of schools that thought about that, aren't there? If he's a robot, and I understand there was a tragedy and a fusion, and
The way I see it, the makers are the great gods, or she'd run her fingers over the two markings on her arm, the Nihil the Traitor and Fenrir, decide which beings get souls. They will put them there whether or not they created the beings or not. You could actually go into a dungeon and find a golem that has been there so long that the gods just decided, well, you know what, let's have some fun.
and that's how it works for a Shin droid? Is that what he is?
Well, I have yet to meet a Shin-droid that did not have a soul, or at least one that I would say didn't. Because how exactly do you measure a soul? But they are capable of feeling, even if they do not display it.
And you are as well.
Well, I wasn't out there at first. Whether or not I still have a soul, that's neither here nor there.
She nods.
The way I see it, if he can make decisions for himself, he is a being.
That seems to be a fair assessment. Yeah, I agree with you. She begins kind of like looking around, and she sees there's a bunch of people moving towards Flapjacks. And, well, unlike Adam and yourself, she rubs her stomach, I must put fuel inside me with food.
I do understand food. I did eat at one point, and I do still enjoy the taste of things. I shall join you. She'd start heading that way.
Okay. And she takes you, but not like by the arm, I suppose, but kind of like falls in beside you. You guys make your way towards Flapjacks. Unless someone in the party does not want to be at Flapjacks for breakfast, that is where you find the rest of the squad. It's a pretty, like, this early in the morning, it doesn't necessarily smell like alcohol. The smell of tobacco still fills the air. In addition, the smell of breakfast foods of all shapes and sizes being fried up on a pan, several eggs being flipped on this giant hammer skillet as they are put together. In addition, there is a separate skillet that is deliberately shaped like a pancake, in which pancakes the size of like a human's torso are being whipped up and then cut into pieces. And the story is always the same. You flip it up in the air, the Vieira woman takes an arrow, fires, and it lands on the plate of basically anybody who raises their hand and says they're hungry.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Do you think they'd have access to kippered herring in this island? This is about World War II era.
Yeah, sure.
What is that exactly?
It is a way of salt smoking fish that is delicious. It's also what Luna happens to be eating as she's settled in. And she's daintily eating some kippered herring and some eggs. And for flavor, she's enjoying a little bit of fruit juice.
The cat eats better than me than I did most of my childhood.
Jared would ask, I'll have what she's having.
And so it was. It is kippered herring, I imagine, is more like out of the can. So,
Yeah, it is a tinned food.
Yes, I would actually see if Nigel is around. If he is, I'd join him. If not, I would probably order tea and bacon and await him.
Morning, Miss Tiki. Morning, y'all. Seems like me and Soul got here pretty early. And Soul's cat. I just kind of like look over at it and say, "You are like the most well-mannered little thing I have ever met, and it is very confusing to me."
Why, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Well, sorry it took me so long to arrive. I had to find the mayor and set up arrangement for a shopkeep.
Oh yeah, you were talking about that. How's that going?
That's happened.
it's
That's
going
very
spooky.
descriptive.
As weird alien music plays in the background.
Somebody's
Hey,
messing.
it fits for my character, okay?
And the
That-
tone of
Somebody's
it.
messing with aluminum foil in the
I gotta
kitchen.
pop up.
Can we add a soundbite for that?
No, we're just gonna leave it right there. We've got someone broke out their theremin in the middle of the game, and we're going from the 40s to the 50s, and it's now Heralds of Roswell.
Yeah. Hey, I just like it that I have my own theme music entering.
I'm not saying it was aliens, but I'm telling you it was aliens.
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 Lizard Wizard is ordered the biggest steak that Flapjack could possibly cook up, medium rare, and he's having that with sunny side up eggs.
Okay, so the biggest steak is probably bigger than you. Again, a lot of this is just like gigantic food that is being cut up into people-sized portions and then thrown at you. So if you want something enormous, you certainly could. We've gone from having triple triad challenges to eating challenges. Welcome to Pathfinder.
Basically, I want a steak like basically whatever space the eggs take up, I want the steak to take up the entire rest of the plate.
Okay, sure, that makes sense. So something probably about the size of like your hand. Well, bigger than that.
Yeah.
Both of your
20
hands
ounce.
together. Yeah, big old thing.
Get him the Fred Flintstone special.
Just an
Giant
entire
steak.
rib cage flies across the room. Lands. Man, these streams always make me so hungry.
Yeah.
So that's where the thing we saw in the distance came from.
Yeah, they
It's
already know
just
about that. They've been eating it for
Flapjack's leftovers.
Yeah. He could have stats, couldn't he? Are there orcs in FFD20? I'm curious. Why, yes, there
You
are.
have my character sheet.
I do.
You have my character sheet. You just had to transfer it over.
I'll bear that in mind.
Remember, I gave you all the character sheets for all those characters.
Yes, you did. They basically look exactly the same in FFD20 as they do in Pathfinder. Except they get throw anything. Okay, sure, I'm here for it. That's actually very flavorful. What is going on? Just meat across the room lands on plate. Nice.
I mean, I'm all for tantalizing amounts of protein for breakfast.
Same.
Well, how was everybody's night?
eventful.
It was fun. Actually, it was kind of boring for me. And if anybody makes a bluff fair sense motive check, that might be able to tell that I'm lying.
I could make a sense motive check on that.
And if you'd like to roll a bluff check, Nick, you certainly may.
And my character's too oblivious to social niceties, so will not.
And I just noticed Tommy rolled a D21.
Yeah, there are 21 base races.
Oh yeah, there are.
And we
All
need
right,
Shinra
so
roll.
Actually, he was making a
Next
blackjack
day.
skill check.
Yeah,
Oh,
don't you
yeah.
know? That's how we're playing Triple Triad now. Okay, so
Blackjack just has a D21. How is the 21? Throws a rock at your face. That's how.
By
Okay.
the way, did I, is there any like hearsay about the amazing performance that was made by the lavender-clad mystery woman the other night?
Goodness gracious, hold on before you toot your horn.
There's not. There, the little Moogle, who is the most amazing saxophone player I've ever seen in your life. He's here, and he sees you and he nods, but that's about it.
Oh, I was in my disguise. Did he see through it?
That's fair. I forgot about that. Hold up. Nah, no, he doesn't. Never mind. He nods because he sees people and is very social, actually, is what happened.
Oh, Kupo.
Yeah, Kupo! The Lizard Wizard has no idea. As far as he is concerned, Brienne had a boring night at home.
Alright.
I mean, I went out to a local establishment. There was this very fine singer or songstress or something. Beautiful lady, but wore a mask and just seemed to disappear. Shame. Would have bought her a drink afterwards. But luck is a cruel mistress. Either way, aside from that, I thought I
Depends
saw
who's
you
talking
flying.
to her.
What?
I said depends on who's talking to her.
Fair enough. And I thought I saw you flying around, but then I realized some town children had apparently snuck a farmer's chicken out of a coop and thrown it off a window. That was
Oh, yeah.
interesting.
How did your little date go, by the way?
I'm gonna glance over at the mayor and see if she glances back at me, and
She has been glancing at you this entire time. You look up,
so
your
I
eyes meet, she looks away.
so I just I finish a piece of my steak and wipe my mouth with a napkin and say it was delightful.
Yeah. What was this about flying around?
Oh yeah,
By the way.
yeah, I was flying around in my special attire.
Did
What
you
attire is
get
that?
Did you get a good view of the city? Here's the map I've been working on.
Oh yes,
fine.
we discussed it. It was a great conversation. We had a great time.
What? Okay, I have to ask. What did she think about the suit? Like, what was the purpose of the suit? What
Well,
were
why
you
don't you
thinking?
ask her? She can
Yes,
speak
I'm
for
going to
herself.
go over there and ask a woman for the information of a date of an individual that I am talking to right now.
Fair
Why do
enough.
I have to talk to her? Why can't I talk to you? You were on the date too, or did you have some sort of evil twin cousin come and do it for you? I don't know.
Plot twist!
Hey now. I do like the idea of an evil doppelganger and me being around somewhere because that makes for a better story. But
This isn't.
I
The
don't know
lizard
if I want to
scion.
face. I don't know if I want to face myself in open combat. And Lizard Wizard, that's exactly what he says.
I
And
kind of
he-
just like pick up a fork and kind of just like jab it lightly in your direction and just sort of like, yes, you're such a raw powerhouse.
I'll look over
Hey,
at Kiki.
hey, you haven't seen me. You haven't seen me in action yet.
What was Jason gonna say?
I look over at Tiki, kind of a puzzled look on my face. He was asking what she thought of it. Why not ask her directly?
I was more so wondering what he said.
You also have to realize I have a negative charisma bonus.
That's fair.
I figured Tiki was the best person to ask that to.
And before
Doesn't it
Tiki had
seem
lower
reasonable?
charisma.
Well, considering I go on pure logic and the social niceties are lost on me, despite what my my charisma score is, I have no idea.
So yeah, interesting night all around.
I'll go ahead and answer the question. Well, just repeat it for me, would you?
Like, what was the purpose of the superhero suit? Did you have like some pickup lines or something prepared?
It's twofold. One, I've read enough comic books to know that being a superhero is really cool.
What's a comic book?
And think like a novel, but a lot more pictures.
You mean like a picture book for kids?
I think picture book combined with a novel. So basically, and I'll even take a napkin and draw this out, and I draw out this like little stick figure, and I basically say, and I put a text balloon. I'd say, see, pictures, but the character's talking. You can tell a story that way. And comic books often feature superheroes, i.e., people that have powers and they help people, and then there's villains that don't help people. And I always wanted to be one of those, and so I spent the money to make it happen. And I thought, well, I could dress up like this and be the superhero of this city, and maybe be the superhero of her heart.
Wait, what was that? I'm sorry. I didn't hear that. Would you repeat that? And I'm like getting up on the table at this point. What
I
was
said
that?
I could be maybe the superhero of her heart.
Oh my god, I forgot how much I love the taste of cheese early in the morning. Wow.
So it's worth mentioning that as the Lizard Wizard is describing comic books, there are probably similar propaganda pieces back home for Lauren. The glory and service illustrated for the masses. Do radios work here? They... yes, but it's... Radios as in music is really staticky. Radios as in communication is even worse.
Jeez, that was cheesy. Did she like it? Well, I mean, you came in here with a happy tone in your step, so I'm gonna guess yes. Not drowning your sorrow.
We had a great time.
And this is around the time that the Lizard Wizard notices that she has gotten up and is standing behind you. And it was kind of cute, I guess.
Oh, this is adorable. You two are adorable. This is so sweet and so cheesy. Goodness gracious, it's like I'm eating cheesecake. I actually hate cheesecake. Close enough.
And as you say cheesecake, Flapjack is, cheesecake coming up! And then, oh, he doesn't want cheesecake. Never mind.
Sorry.
I wouldn't mind some. Saul pipes up.
Cheesecake! And it's a wonder that this thing stays in one piece as it's quickly thrown together and
cheesecake
batted. Yeah, just an enormous, and it lands perfectly. The arrow pierces it. That's probably what keeps it together, I guess. And it just boop down onto the ground. Okay,
yes,
so I see.
And the arrow is made out of a cookie with raspberry filling.
Beautiful. Yeah, it's the special raspberry arrow that goes with it. Ow, my pancreas.
And
I am not going to
Luna
say
looks at
the
Saul.
line of a certain movie.
Okay, so Luna looks at Saul.
Luna looks at Saul. If you would, please, my friend. And Saul nods and uses a variant of purified food and drink. The cheesecake is now lactose-free, and Luna happily takes a piece.
I don't know, lactose-free cheesecake is. That's an affront to my people. Okay, in any case...
She's a cat.
I understand. Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, so like milk.
Yeah, but they're all lactose intolerant.
Yeah, but they don't
like milk, but they can't digest it very well, and she is too polite to risk doing that to her friends.
And would rather not have like horrible, stinky cat problems on the road. It's a thing. My dad would never not give Achilles milk. That's a different rant. Brienne would like to try to contact someone in the morning. Who do we have in mind?
Lizard Wizard would like to because, the mayor suggested it.
Okay, sure. First, Nick.
All right.
Nicholas Cirillo is not muted. Now he's muted. Now he's unmuted. Going once. Going twice. Okay, Lizard Wizard, who you gonna call?
I'd like to call my circus troupe, but when I do, I'd like to, can I actually see them?
You cannot.
I would say if I could see them, I would see if the mayor wanted to meet my circus. Yeah.
Okay.
Since I talked about them. But anyway, no, I will call them up.
So you begin to think about the troop, and there's an itch in the back of your head, and a couple seconds later, what is going on, Kupo? What is in my head? And just kind of like back and forth forever as Grimo continues ranting at the top of his little Moogle voice.
I'm calling you.
Who's calling me, Kupo?
It's me,
Rutling.
It's me, Runtling.
Well, bless my pom-poms, Kupo. How you doing up there?
Well, I'm doing all right. I met a group of people that I'm traveling with, helping out the city that we're in. It's pretty all right. I was just on a date last night, and it went really well. And I thought it was suggested to me by the person I was with that I not forget to talk to my friends. So I decided to call you.
That's
through your mind, of course.
Through my mind, Kupo. That don't make no sense. I don't understand none of this, but we do miss you down here, Kupo. Things are pretty hairy.
Yeah. If you can find your way to the city, I'm sure the mayor would love to have you. There's a couple of places here that are dedicated to having performances, and the money's good too.
I see.
Plenty to eat, you'd be doing just fine.
We can set up a permanent shop up there.
In fact, I might even be able to arrange to come get you.
Okay, I hear you, Kupo. Well, since the events, you understand the band's kind of broken up, Kupo. Everyone's gone their separate ways. People having children gone back to their homes. We don't even have the chocobos anymore. It's just old Grimo by himself, Kupo.
No, we have to reunite the band. And now I'm going to not mention another certain movie I'm thinking of. But anyway, we have to reunite the band.
I see we're getting the band back together, Kupo. As you can picture the dark glasses and dark suit.
Oh, yes. We have to do this.
Don't forget the hat.
And the hat, indeed.
Do you turn into bears?
You turn into bears, Kupo. I don't think that's going to happen, my man. It's... like, down here, it's not so good right now. The judges have... well, they have banned our performances. We are now illegal, Kupo. And after the events...
then we need...
after the events in Nordo, you see, Kupo, we all have bounties on our heads, you see.
So, I hear this, and I'm like... and I talk to and I look over the mayor, and I'm like, my former band is being hunted by the judges. The performances are illegal, and they have bounties on their heads. Can we please... is there any way we can get them here to safety? They really need a place where they're not going to, get killed.
Who are you talking to, Kupo? Who is this mayor? I don't understand. As his voice kind of fades into blackness. It's not up to us. We're just the town. The people who come here, they come on their own. If he can find a ship to get here. I suppose it's possible, but we can't facilitate that. I'm so sorry.
I sigh and I say, I understand. I will, and if if he's still on the line, I will tell him, look, I don't care what it takes. I will find a way to get you guys out of there.
Okay, I understand, Kupo. I don't know where it is you are or how it is I'm supposed to get there, but all right, if you could get me there, I will be more than happy to set up.
When I have a way to get you out of there, I will contact you again, and we'll make it happen. Because I got to take care of you guys like you took care of me.
I certainly would appreciate that, Kupo. It's been a while. We hadn't heard from you. To be honest, I'm kind of surprised I'm talking to you right now, Kupo. It's good to know you're still out there. The connection begins to static out a little.
All right, look, I'll talk to you again, all right?
All right, Kupo.
I will get... All right. So then I hang up. I effectively hang up.
Got you. It feels like a knife cuts through it. Nick tried to do a speaking. Oh, Nick is dead. Oh, Nick. Yeah, we still can't hear you, my man. Okay, so I see that also Parallax would like to make a call. No, you're not dead, Nick. We see you on Discord. I just can't hear your voice.
Yeah, Tiki and Nigel also had something earlier.
Okay.
I said so, but I think I got drowned.
Got you. Okay, so we will do the call for Parallax, and then we'll do Tiki and Nigel.
Thank you. I'm not sure exactly how this works, but I want to try to contact that mayor from Paradise.
Okay. There is an itching in the back of your head, and then you feel him. You feel him as you feel dragons. There is no response, just the force pushing down on the back of your head.
I don't know if you can hear me. I'm trying to piece together the events of these past few days. Not sure how I got here or what exactly happened with those dragon hunters, but I wanted to see if you're all right. I'm not sure exactly why I was, or by what force I was spirited away at that moment. It was all a little bit of a blur for me. Well, I don't know if you can even hear me.
I can hear you. His voice is much different than it was when you were in Paradise.
Indeed.
Where are you?
I'm not exactly sure. I'm told this is a place called something Dawn.
Mario. Indeed.
Oh, I need to turn off my ringer.
You're fine. Funny things is funny. I see.
Edward's Dawn? Eden's Dawn?
Eddard's Dawn.
Eddard's Dawn.
And where is this place?
Big old dragon. Bigger than I've ever seen before. Just kind of scooped me up and brought me here. I don't know how or where it is compared to where I was.
I see. And you have no idea where here is?
Not as of now, but if I could repeat my question, are you all right as far as those dragon hunters are concerned?
They were delicious.
Well, but everything's cleared up, though.
Yes. Paradise is once again free of interlopers.
See.
I will find you. And there's as the sensation of the call being cut off.
Huh. Okay. That was weird.
And
what
then,
do you think, little buddy?
What?
What? He's like munching on the cheesecake. What? I didn't hear it. I wasn't on the call. Okay. Well, you are no help as usual. You're welcome.
Okay.
How do you eat that?
Give it a go, Nick. Can you do a speaking? Oh, I think Nick is dead. Oh, Nick. Now he's gone. He's logged out of the call, and I'm gonna.
Tricky Nicky.
Trippy Nicky. I'm gonna hang for like 2 seconds to see if he can speak. If he can't, we'll go to Kisri and Nigel. Nicholas Cirillo. Since he became a patron so long ago, that's always been in my head, and now I get a chance to say it. So many years later. Yeah, I guess we got nothing. I'm sorry, man. We'll get to you at the beginning of next session. Nigel to Kisri, you had a thing.
Yes, when I first came in, I had asked for tea and bacon and would try to make my way over to Nigel.
Okay. I imagine Nigel's probably sitting in the corner. Business as usual.
Yeah.
Nigel, do you happen to have any magical items on you?
Well, the armor I wear is enchanted.
Do you happen to know by what level?
I believe they said it was the first level of skill.
Ah, wonderful. Means I do not have to go and make new armor for you just yet. So here, she would hold up a small glowing yellow sphere. I need to affix this to your armor. It is a bit of a thing I've whipped up for you. It's a bit of magicite and other things, but it will help you with... Well, truthfully, I don't know exactly what it will do for you. It is a concentrated essence of sneakery.
I pull my goggles up and look directly at her.
I'd hand over the materia.
I look at it, I look back up at you. Trust is not an easy thing for me.
I understand.
How do you benefit with this? Well, I guess I should ask, how much do I owe you?
First, I want to see if it's actually useful for you. If it is useful for you, you could repay me the cost that it took me to make it. Or we could come to an arrangement. It doesn't actually matter, but after seeing you in the woods yesterday and the things that you were doing, I figured you were of the stealth variety and decided I would try to help you. Besides, I was bored.
Momentary flicker of a smile. I can understand that, and there is some overlap in our skill sets. I don't know what your strong suits are. I happen to be very good with electronics and explosives, but...
Well, I'm very generalist. If it exists to be made, I can probably make it, though I am not specialized in any particular area of expertise. But as I said, we could come to an arrangement later, but this little item for you, it must be affixed to a level 1 or greater magic item for you to gain its benefit. And it should learn as you do. At later time, when it gains its next level, it will have to be affixed to a level 3 item, and when it gets its maximum level, it will have to be on a level 5 item. After it has reached its maximum item, it may even spawn off a new version of itself. That one I do not know if you'll be able to use, but you could also grow it and, I don't know, sell it. I could break it down for pots. Actually, that's a good idea. If you would just wear this and use it, when we get the new one, I will break it down for pots. Consider it farming. You're farming for magic essence.
Hmm. That seems reasonable. If you... I will. And I will... Well, here's the problem. I don't know if social niceties are going to be happy with me walking around with, basically what's tactical gear 24. It might frighten some of the locals a little bit. I'll have to rely on Tommy to read that. I had in my initial gear list picked up a magic item that would help with that, but I never got back with you to make sure I could get it.
Okay. It's people
Sleeves
will
of mini garments.
People definitely stop and see it if you guys are walking around carrying weapons and things, but also there's definitely a shin droid with a couple of semi-automatic guns in his wrist, and he popped them out in public and no one freaked out about it. So you can have weapons and tactical gear and stuff, just it's a matter of if you are brandishing them, that sort of thing.
Right. Okay. And I'll talk to you offline about the magic item.
Gotcha.
But yeah, would attach it to the vest, to my leather +1 armor.
Okay.
I'm actually just watching intently to see if there's any change or he seems to gain any particular new knowledge. Yeah, it's just fun.
I mean, he would get an extra thief talent.
Yes.
I don't know exactly what that looks like, but it resolves. It happens. Probably just a blink, blink, blink as the knowledge is
epiphany
shoved into your brain. Or an epiphany. That sounds much friendlier and not painful at all.
You see a change in the patterning in my eyes momentarily, and a very broad but okay. I'm not going to roll an intimidation check, but most people viewing my smile would probably be scared.
This is sadistic smile running across. Yeah, some people see
wonderful.
Yeah.
Some people see it and are kind of they give you guys a little bit wider berth. And then the breakfast happens,
Yeah.
and the talk with the mayor happens, and people call home. Brienne tries to call Waylon. The connection is still there. There is small talk because Nick's mic isn't working, and then off it goes. As we approach the last few minutes of the session, you guys have 3 places to explore. Which would you guys like to? I guess the last few minutes is good for the planning, so we don't do that for an hour and a half next time. That kind of thing.
Big bone.
My vote is the ship.
Okay.
Same with Nigel.
Yeah.
I'm down for the airship.
Okay. Nick, I guess type yours in Roll20.
My vote is for the bones, but I'll go with whatever the party votes for.
I'm definitely down for the airship because if we get it working, then yay!
Yeah, it's a big ship to get working. Oh yeah. Okay.
We
I will
got 2
totally be
engineers.
fine with doing the bones next time.
I believe in us.
We got a Tiki, and we got a Jason. Get this to work.
Is this the part where we meet Sid?
Yes, it's a Final Fantasy game. It must have a Sid.
No, this is the part where we rename Nigel into Sid, or we give him that's his middle name, and we just now find out about it.
I mean, he is.
Or he grows a mustache and loses his memory.
Or he becomes a I can't remember what they're called. Save my life, but they're in 9 and they're Oglop. He becomes an Oglop and just boop.
Those little bug thingies.
Yeah.
I
hate Oglops.
You are one. I know.
Not that.
So are we in agreement? Airship first, and our
Sounds good to
second,
me.
and after we explore the airship, we will explore the bone pile.
I'm happy with that second vote.
Okay. So as long as we are all in agreement there, that seems good to me. We will get that ready for next time. Is there anything else? Anybody else want to make a call? Anybody have anything they want to do in town? Things of that nature. You guys definitely know you will be the journey if you're on foot. Would take like 12, 13 hours to get to the ship.
Aloran has an evil thought for a call, but he doesn't want to do it because he knows that it will end horribly.
Okay.
Did we verify that this thing was limited to the same plane?
This thing, as in the
airship.
Not the airship, the calling.
The communication device.
You think so? No one's tried to make a collect call to heaven.
Luna's going to try, just to see if it works.
Okay, understood. Sure. Who are you gonna call?
She's calling a Vulpinian, Elgothian, and mentioning that Saul might have a story for it later at some later point.
Okay. The connection goes through. The Vulpin Elegathian understands. Okay.
Why, no, I am entirely not trying to lay plot threads for some other time.
Of course you're not. Why
I mean, my bad idea was just to call my ex and be like, I'm alive, and then hang up.
Do you want to?
No.
Okay.
It's a horrible idea.
I probably didn't do something that smart, but
yeah, he's doomed us all by telling a elder dragon where we are.
That'll be fun.
We don't know. See, the thing is, my character knows that person tried to kill him. That's why he's.
I don't know.
I mean,
I really.
I have no people to call. That's why I've been so quiet. I don't really have much in the way of reactions right now.
The only other thing I'd want to do before end of session, if possible, is to make sure that the symbol of Nihil the Traitor and Fenrir gets carved into the sign that I put outside my door.
Okay, yeah, that's easy enough to do. You have some kind of torch on your body, do you not?
Yeah, it's in my body. It's part of me.
So you just whoop, 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 done. Easy peasy. What was Idaho trying to say?
I was just saying that I'm not. My character's very confused at everything that's been going on, but he's just not used to all of this, and he's not sure what happened to himself. But I think that's the mystery here. That's why he's moving forward, is he's trying to figure out what exactly is going on, what brought him here, who the heck that giant dragon was, and who was the mayor of paradise.
Okay, makes sense to me. So unless anybody has anything else, we're basically. Yes, Jason.
Okay, I've helped run expeditions before, so I will pick up food for people, make sure we have some appropriate tents, just work very, just the basics. And I'll plan for a week out.
Okay, that makes sense. We can discuss exact travel plans in chat throughout the week since we have a motorcycle, 3 chocobos, and a dragon. We don't necessarily have to walk. Nevertheless, since it is, unless anybody else has any final things, it is time for patron chat. Going once, going twice. Okay, that's where we'll call it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining us for our Avengers Endgame spoiler session, which I might even just title it that just for funsies.
You evil, evil man.
Who, me? Never! Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos. Next week, we're going to go explore a giant airship, which probably is totally safe, right? Nothing bad could possibly happen. But you'll have to find that out for yourself, won't you? Say bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.